Hello, everyone, and welcome to another show here. Just a reminder that this is a podcast as well as a live stream for the member area. If you're checking this out on either one of those places, check out the opposite as well. So it's nice to take a podcast into walking or in the car. I try to use it as ear training. And then also to watch the video, see what's going on there. So today we're going to look at and listen to and talk about some special techniques. So some pretty kind of cool things that you can hear on some of the recordings of Django playing is the use of harmonics and kind of we call artificial harmonics. So there are a few ways to create harmonics. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. I'm going to do some playing here and there just to kind of break it up. But we'll talk a little bit about harmonics, which I think I've talked about before, but we'll go into that again because it's on this tune. And might be able to play a sample of it as well. So see if I can load that up while we're talking about it. All right, but first let's talk about the harmonics themselves. And go into kind of how that all works. So a simple way to play a harmonic is to find a spot where they ring pretty prominently, and basically we're dividing the string length into different lengths. So the halfway point, okay, would be 12th fret. Okay, so that would be third string, 12th fret. So you can do any of one of those strings. So a couple other spots, we have 7th fret, 5th fret, and there are others, but they start to get a little bit harder to hear and project. So that's a really good sound and fun to play around with. People like to hear it. It changes the way things sound. So, but it's a little bit limited as far as creating lines. There's actually a really nice um, tune by Pat Metheny, Follow Me. I should plan to do a video on that at some point, but where he plays a whole melody based on harmonics just in that way. We're going to talk a little bit about harmonics that you can play by taking, again, like we did at the beginning, taking the string length and dividing it in half. So, but fretting a note. So let's say we have A on the string 3. So let's say we're playing that. Now the string length has changed here. So we would pluck 14. So if we're holding down fret 2, then we need to add 12 to that. And we can play like that. All right. So how do we do that on a, say, kind of technical level? There are actually kind of a couple of ways to approach it. So let's look at the right hand kind of close up here, and I'm going to talk our way through this. So if you're listening on the podcast without the video, you should be able to follow this through as well. All right, so take the finger, the index finger of the picking hand, and find the spot. Let's see if I can get this kind of in focus. So let's work backwards here a little bit. So let's say we have fret, what's 15, 16, 17, 19th fret. Okay, so that should be 7th fret over here, and I'm string 3. Okay, what I'm doing is I'm pointing just above that fret on that string. I'm not pressing down. I'm touching the string, but I'm not pressing it enough that it would touch the fingerboard. So I'm just letting the string kind of hang out where it is here. Let me give you a little bit of a close-up of that, and then I'm going to go right back to it. Okay. All right, so we're right here. So make sure I'm on the right spot here. Okay, there we go. Okay, so you've got your finger here. So you can do a little searching around for it. Okay, so this is actually a little bit off from where I would expect it. Oh, there we go, that's better. Okay, so we're kind of way up the neck here. So this is what, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay, that makes sense. All right, so we have that, right? And we just pluck. So we touch with the finger and we take the thumb behind the finger. Okay, and then we do that. You could also take the thumb, which is a little bit harder, but you take the thumb and then use the finger on the opposite side. Okay, which is a little bit, I would say, a little more challenging to do. Okay, but basically you can create lines by following your left or fretting hand, I should say, up a fret there. All right, so so let's take a little break. I'll do a little bit of playing, experimenting here with slowing down the rhythm section. I haven't done a lot of that without exclusive use of MIDI. So I have a recording sample of the guitar in here, which I went ahead and put some markers in there so it would stay with the time as I change the tempo. So I'm hoping that kind of works out. It's not very far from where I was, but play a little bit on it, and maybe I'll play a few notes with that technique. So there you can hear some kind of idea. So I played the first chorus really just the traditional kind of way, and then the second chorus I played through the with the harmonics exclusively, and then in the third chorus there I went back and forth between between the two. So you get this little kind of duet going, you know, so you could almost think about almost like two different instruments or two different voices, because it is quite a different register, right? So that's kind of the technique that we're going to cover here. Let me see if I can find the moment. Probably should have done this beforehand. Where we end up with the solo, which I probably could have marked in here. Let me see if I can mute that for now, find the spot, and then hopefully the audio won't come through just yet. It is coming through. But there you can hear. So actually did find sort of the right spot there. So and then he goes into the traditional playing the notes in a more traditional way. So all right, so let's see if we can spend a little time playing and finding some of these notes. So this is coming out of the book I mentioned in the live stream last week. I think it's called the Ultimate or Definitive Collection Guitar Recorded Version, Django Reinhardt. All right, so let's check that out a little bit and see what we can see here. So one thing I did there earlier is, so I used a pick, and then I tucked the pick away in my fingers, and then used the finger picking method that I talked about, and then brought it back and kind of back and forth. All right, so let's see. So let's go over to this here. And see if we can work a little bit on some of the specifics of what he did and on this with this technique. And I can't say that I know exactly, you know, what technique he used. I mean, in a general sense that this is what we're talking about. But exactly which finger he used and all that, I would only kind of assume that it's probably doing kind of a similar approach to what we talked about a minute ago. All right. All right, so we'll take a look at a couple of these notes, and this does have tablature, so, and it's a little bit fuzzy, but putting the pick away here, and so 4th fret Okay, so that would mean we would have 16th fret up here. So you can kind of imagine, what's going on up in this area as an image of what's going on down here. Okay, so we get this. Okay, string. Okay, let's check out those first few notes. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then we're heading down here. Okay. And I'll have to admit that I don't work a lot on this technique, so I'm probably going to miss a bunch of notes. So, all right, so just review what we have there again. So we have that. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then we're going to carry on a little bit here. So maybe I'll have to do a little bit of this in the live stream. So I'm planning to, just as maybe a little insight to podcast listeners and the YouTube members, I'm really working towards getting on a schedule of doing a live stream, just kind of general audience live stream on Thursdays at noon. And I could probably occasionally have a conflict there, but Thursdays at noon, and then release like a uploaded pre-recorded video Mondays at 9 a.m., which is just what I've done in this past week, but that's kind of the plan, is to continue all of that. All right, so I apologize. This is really super blurry, but so we have 4th fret. Okay, 4th fret. Okay, then we're going to go down to 3rd fret. Okay, and then we just went strings 3, 2, and 1. Okay, and then 5. Okay, so let's see if we can put that somewhat into time here. Okay, so there's a little bit of that kind of sound. I think, I'm trying to think here a little bit too about this technique, and I feel like I've seen it also kind of done in another way. So, and maybe it's just that way that I mentioned with the thumb. But if you know maybe a little bit more about this than I do, then please send me a message or something like that, a comment or something. And then Tal Farlow is another musician who would do this. Lenny Perot. So it's a nice technique, and I oftentimes just kind of don't think to use it, but maybe I'll have to do that. So maybe on the live stream I'll try to warm up my chops on that. It does, you kind of feel like, well, kind of want to maybe look over here at the picking hand to find exactly the spot to do that. All right, so I'm gonna play a little bit more here. And let me know if you have any questions in the meantime. All right, everyone. Well, that will conclude our talk for today. Thanks so much for listening and checking out the podcast and the video. So remember, member area on YouTube. That's youtube.com/fretprince. We have a video available to lessons and talks tier there. And of course, check this out on the podcast at any time. All right, thanks again, and I will see you all in the next one.